How long was you in, dude?
Huh?
How long was you in?
How long was I in? 38 and a half hours, I think. A long time.
How you feeling now, dude? You alright, yeah?
Yeah, do you know what? After our little caravan experience, I'm pretty physically tired, but like mentally, really great. Had a really interesting experience. I think what we did was really empowering for the movement. Personally, I mean, it was tough, but the one thing that I kind of want to say to Maple Indy and all the people out there is like, I was just part of what happened, and it's not just about the 41 hours that we spent inside the caravan or locked on, or the 13 people that chose to take that action. It's about the thousands of people and the last 18 months or 8 years of this fight. Like, it wasn't just me or those people in there doing that, that was all of the people from the fight at PNR. So yeah, I'm good. I'm really happy that we did it, and I think it had a really positive effect. I think it was a beautiful thing. I say a lot, creativity can change the world. Definitely the most creative lock-on action I've seen in probably ever, to be honest, and I was really honoured to be part of it.
This is Ross, everybody. This is what he was talking about just now was the Caravan of Love. It was an action at PNR Tuesday the 22nd, Wednesday the 23rd. Ross was part of it, some 37 plus hours. The action in total, I think, was 42 plus hours. 11 people, actually 13 people, 2 swapsies. Brilliant piece of swapping in the middle of the night. So yeah, Ross, mate, great to see you, man. How you doing?
Yeah, really good, man. Honestly, fighting the fight and enjoying it. It's actually nice to be having a bit of a day of relaxing after a couple of days of like an ordeal. But you know what? We all make those choices, and I think it's important that we put ourselves in those positions. And I was just talking about that, but also, I mean, like, I think one of the positives, the actions was there was a certain amount of respect between the protesters and the police, and we're a peaceful movement, and I think that action really highlighted that to some of the members of the police and the police force. And I don't often say this, but I will credit especially the cutting out team. They were really professional. They're on the level. They showed us a lot of respect for what we did, and it was reciprocated. And it's a shame that protest here can't always be like that. But you know, I think it's good to stand up and make those points and challenge those views that are happening at the moment. So
Yeah, man. There's the respect was there. It was there was a different kind of feel to it, and come on. I mean, they love a challenge.
they do.
They're always respectful. I spoke to Stu. He said pretty much the same. They pulled the windows off, didn't they, so they could get some air and stuff.
Yeah, it was quite fun. I have to admit, there was a moment when we were all sitting there waiting for it to happen, and they started putting the windows through. There was a bit of a shock and awe moment, but I think once they actually kind of saw what we had done, they were up for the challenge. I did hear them tell the security that lorries would be rolling in by 2:30 on the first afternoon, which obviously didn't materialise. And like, I think once they got down to it, they were a little bit frustrated. But as they kind of saw what they'd done, and whoever those pixies are who went out there and made a caravan appear, I mean, that was pretty incredible. They loved it. One of them called it the Krypton factor for cutting out teams, actually, which I thought was quite funny. Good training ground.
Wow, I was chatting to somebody on the Art Circle, and they said, "Oh, do you think that'll be difficult in there?" I says, "Well, listen, I hope it's the Krypton factor for them."
It
That's
really
all I can
was.
say. So it was so wicked.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, go on, mate.
I was just going to say, like, I think as much as, you know, some of us that actually took that action are speaking out, it really important to remember that, like, it wasn't just activists on that action. There were locals, there were people who live in the area, there was a pregnant lady and her boyfriend who were locals as well, who've been here and actually kind of suffered some of the injustice, and I think that's the way they need to respond. There were seasoned activists, people that have been doing this for years, and there was new activists, and again, for me, that was one of the beautiful things. There was no division there, it was a unity, and like, I talk about unity and community a lot, and it really felt like that, which was empowering, and it was quite nice to feel empowered by the people around me as well, you know.
Yeah, you're right, mate. Because well, all them 13 people, they all are from different sort of areas of experience as well. Because there's people that did it for the first time. There's people that have been fighting it on legal levels for years and years and years, and felt no choice. And there's like you say, there's seasoned activists who have been, you know, putting their arm in tubes here and there and everywhere, and yeah, it just all seemed to come together from an outsider's point of view. I got some good footage of the caravan biscuit tin, the caravan and stuff, and some good copy from you guys from inside the caravan.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, it was brilliant, mate. It was brilliant. I mean, you was laid up in the top of the caravan roof, weren't you?
I was in the roof space. I had the little mezzanine platform. That was interesting. It's quite hot up there at points, but they cut me a little sunroof, which was nice. So I got to work on the ginger tan a little bit. A few freckles extra.
Was it hot, mate? Yeah.
To be honest, at the beginning it was hot, especially when they were cutting out the people below me, those fumes and stuff. But you know, they were fair. Like I said, they were really good. I asked them to cut the roof open so I could breathe, and also meant I could talk to you guys, which was great.
Yeah.
Lifted the spirits, and the women in white. I want to mention that. Like, people were talking about how long an experience it was, and like, yeah, honestly, you know, it's not comfortable putting your arm in a tube, but we know what we're going for when we enter that. And there was a moment that morning where I was like, shit, you know, this might not go on for like another 10 hours. And it's hard when your resolve feels like that. But I felt so empowered by watching the women in white walk up the road with a Grampian lorry and take that power back for themselves and actually, you know, make their own statement. And it kind of changed my mentality a little bit. And again, that empowerment thing, from that moment forwards, I could have been there for days, man. Like, respect to those women for taking that choice and stepping out in front of that lorry. So, yeah.
They never fail to sort of surprise you, do they?
No, they don't.
The women in white, they've got like an established protest where they can take the road, get in that bellmouth, take control of the bellmouth, and the beautiful sight, because I was on a bike, all I heard was a bit of a rumour that the women in white, they're walking a Grampian wagon, and I was like, what? Get me bike.
Yeah.
Straight down there, and what a sight, mate, it was. I've got it on footage. And
for months, they've been told, and for years they've been told now that it's not safe to slow walk lorries, that they're not allowed to do it. That's people taking that power back and actually saying, you know, it is safe. And from what I saw, testimonial, it was facilitated by the police. And
you do know they broke that sort of, the police broke that agreement. I don't know if the police broke it or if the police knew it was coming in, but it certainly had an escort, and there was no sort of lorries that was to come in between them times.
No,
you know,
okay.
Like because of the actual
because the march,
the march on a Wednesday. So they tried to bring the convoy in, and it came in about 10:30. And the women were just coming out of Maple Farm at that point, and that was that. So
yeah, and I think you know, that's it. That's the important message, isn't it? You know, we do have to communicate with the police as protesters. We have to try and do what we can do lawfully, you know. And every individual chooses their own actions. But one of the things that comes back to me from being on the front lines of this protest in different places is that we don't really have our rights upheld. So sometimes we need to step in and take that power back. So there is one more thing I'd really like to say.
Yeah, you
like,
go for it, mate.
The thing about, you know, locals. I've heard it lately, you know, it's sometimes there's a lot of activists here and it's not always about the locals. And I'll be honest with you, you know, I was born in Lancaster, but that's a little bit irrelevant to me that I'm from Lancashire. Like, I talk about this a lot, like, I'm a human of the earth, I'm a local of the earth. I'm also a local of the UK, and this isn't just about PNR or Lancashire. This is a UK-wide problem that we're fighting, and I think sometimes we need to remember that we're all from the same place and we're all fighting the same battle. And by being together, we can empower each other right across the country, and it's going to be that's going to stop fracking in the UK. It's not going to be one action of 41 hours. It's going to be thousands of people and thousands of hours of work. I really do. So empower those people, and right on to the people that have taken it on already, man. Like those locals that start the fights around the country that I've then gone and joined and like supported. It's incredible. It's really motivating and it's really moving to be part of that. So yeah, we need to remember that, man. We're all on the same fight. We're all from the same planet.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely, mate. We are. Absolutely, and this is a benchmark. This place, Preston New Road, is a benchmark for fracking. It could be, you know, at this moment in time, it's a benchmark, and we all need to be wary of that and wary of places like Tinker Lane, like you know, other places that are popping up now. So.
Yeah, well, like the legacy of this place could be that we destroy the environment, or it could be that we come together as people and we stop something beautiful. And I think, you know, there's a strong message in that. This could be a beautiful legacy or a tragic one for this country, so we need to think about that, man.
Yeah, you're right, mate. Thanks for talking to us, mate.
No problem, thank you.
Congratulations for that action. It was massive. Big respect to you.
And you, man, and you.
Take care.